Okay, today we're going to talk about motivation, especially motivation for learning another language, specifically English. When you first start out on an adventure, like a new program, or maybe you come to the United States to study, you might feel like everything's wonderful. It's like singing in the rain, right? But then after some time, you realize that this comes with some issues, some problems that may be getting harder and harder to go forward. And eventually you might feel like just time to quit and get out of there. That's a common experience. What we need to rethink is motivation. When you first came, you had a motivation to come to study or start a program, but motivation is more than just starting. What is it? It's also what keeps you going. So it's about what starts you moving in the first place, why you make the decision to start something. It's what keeps you moving towards your goal. And it is also how much effort you use doing it. So let's look at this a little bit. You have to think about your own personality and your own situation. What fuels your motor? For some people, like these cars, it might be gasoline. For other people, might be electricity. So everybody has a motor, but what is your fuel? Might be different. There's different kinds of motivation. You might be motivated by money, achievement, the praise of other people. You might want to set a good role model. Like, look at this little boy cutting the grass like his father. He's not actually cutting anything. He just wants to be like his dad. That's motivation. You might be motivated by achieving some goal or getting a grade, like in this picture. But let's look at some questions to help us understand what are the different kinds of motivation. First one we're going to look at is practical motivation. What will you be able to do with your English? What practical day-to-day things help you? So questions like this, number one, I need English to live everyday life here more easily. Now, if you're not in an English-speaking country, this is not a motivation for you. You're in your home country, you don't need English to live there easily. Also, if you are in a country that speaks English, but you spend all your time with other people from your country, or you don't go out much, or you don't really need the English, other people do things for you, then that won't be a motivation for you. So this is very situational. What is your motivation in this situation? Second question is, I want to use English to tell people important things. Now, this might be as a teacher, it might be in friendships, something important you want to express or talk about. Third, again, very practical. The third question, I want to enter regular university classes. Those are all examples of practical motivation. Another type of motivation is achievement motivation. What can you achieve? What can you accomplish? So question number 5 here, learning English is an important life goal for me. You might be kind of person who has a lot of goals, and one of your life goals is to be an English speaker, speak English very well. Number 6, I will get respect for being an educated person when I learn well. People who are very driven to success might want other people to recognize that success, of course, the level of respect you get for your English skills. Question 7, it is important for me to be a good example for others in my family or community. This might be coworkers, friends, family, people you know. They recognize that you worked hard, you achieved something, you were successful. These are all different examples of achievement motivation. Another kind of motivation is social motivation. Basically, your relationships and friendships. Question 7 says, it is important for me, or it's important to me, to make friends with Americans. Now, in other words, you want to be socially active with people who speak that language, people who speak English. Now, it might be if you're in a different kind of community where it's not you're not in America, you're not in England, but you're in a country where everybody speaks English because they're coming from different places, that would also be making friends using English. But the important thing is the friendships are in your target language. Question 8, I want to understand the experience and feelings of American friends and classmates. So not just acquaintances, people you know who speak English, but actually get to know them as on a deeper level as real friends. Question 9, it is important to me to understand Americans' ideas, beliefs, and values. So you just enjoy the conversation, getting to understand the people, so on. All of these are examples of social motivation. There's one more kind of motivation to talk about here, and this is actually the most powerful kind of motivation for learning something. Maybe you don't need the language. Maybe you don't really care about being successful and achieving things. Maybe you don't really need have friendships in language, but maybe you just love to learn. You just enjoy the process of the English classes and learning the words and trying it out, watching the videos and so on. This is intrinsic motivation. So like question 10, learning English is a fun hobby for me. I enjoy the daily process of learning. You might think, well, I have other hobbies I enjoy, but learning language, not so much. But if you don't think, oh yeah, I really enjoy just the process of doing it. Question 11, I love being here and being in class most days. So the process of going to class, opening your book, doing the assignments, things like that, if you really enjoy that. Question 12, I feel happy when I learn and use new English words or expressions. So you might find yourself outside of class thinking, how would I say that in English? Or if I went to this place, what could I say to the people? Or if I was going to talk about what's important to me, what would I say? And you find yourself imagining in English what you're going to say. That's all very important part of learning language. And it's part of the intrinsic motivation as well. So how can you strengthen your motivation? Well, it depends on your own personality. Your unique personality might be different for you. And it also depends on what kind of motivation you want to strengthen. You might want to target one kind of motivation to strengthen that. And often we try to work on our weaknesses, but a lot of research shows that it's more important to focus on your strengths. So take your strongest kind of motivation and see how can I use that motivation to step it up a level, to even strengthen it. So for practical motivation, you might think about what will I be able to do with good English? Imagine your future using English. You might put up pictures that remind you of that dream. Maybe to strengthen your achievement motivation, you might think of the different stages and steps toward your goal, write them out, make a checklist, check off the things as you achieve them. You know, I wanted to learn these words and I did it, check. I wanted to learn or read this book and I did it, check. I wanted to discuss this book with a friend, I did it, check. So also share your goals with other people. If you have goals, don't just keep them to yourself. Find a partner in learning, maybe another student, maybe a teacher, just somebody who supports you in doing this. This all helps you with achievement motivation. Socially, think about who will you learn English with? Who is it in your classes or in your program who you can partner with and just make the journey together? Everybody who has taken a long journey knows the important thing is not the kind of car you're in or even the scenery out the window. The most important thing is who's in the car with you. And it's the same thing for learning English. The important thing, the most important thing is who are you doing it with? Do you enjoy your teacher? Do you enjoy your classmates and so on? So put people around you who you enjoy doing it with. Not just people you like, because people you like, other people, maybe they have no interest in improving their English. But if you're with people with a similar goal, want to improve their English, you make that journey together. And for intrinsic motivation, how do you strengthen this? Well, you need to build your interest in the game of English. An example for me was not English, but for basketball. When I was young, I didn't know how to play basketball. I didn't care about basketball, but I moved to a new place, and one day one of the boys came over from the neighbors, knocked on the door, said, "Do you want to come play basketball?" I didn't care about basketball, but I wanted a friend. So I went out and I played. And this happened many days after class. I improved, played more and more. And pretty soon it was me who was knocking on other people's doors. "Hey, come out and play basketball." Because it went beyond the motivation for friends to where I actually enjoyed the game of basketball. But then it didn't come right away. It came with practice and improvement and learning to love the game. So the same thing might be true with you for English. Maybe right now you think of, oh, English, it's something I have to do. I don't really enjoy it. Well, find ways to enjoy it. Forget about the test. Forget about some of the other things, but just learn to love the game of learning. Okay, another thing that helps us with motivation is a reward system, sometimes for that extra energy. And a reward system can be very simple, but the basic idea is if I do something difficult, I will get something I love, and then I'll be happy. So you might want to list out the difficult things. So here on the chart where it says things I should do, these are the difficult things. Might be your homework, might be talking to people in English, it might be using an app on your phone like Quizlet to learn vocabulary, might be writing in your journal, reading a book. Anything that's difficult for you that you think will help you, make a list, write down those things that you need to do. Then on another list, on the other side, maybe you write down things you like to do, like eating ice cream or watching a certain television show or drinking Coca-Cola or listening to music, whatever it are the things you like to do that you can reward yourself with. Make a list of those things. Then set up a system. Well, those are the things we love to do, right? It can be very simple things like drinking coffee. Then make a system where you match the things that are difficult to do with the things you like to do and make them specific now. You match the activity to the reward. So an example is if you do Rosetta Stone on computer for 30 minutes, you can reward yourself. Let's see, let's pick one, drink 1 can of Mountain Dew. Okay, so you link it to that. So make it specific is the idea. Make the reward specific to the thing you do. Now don't pick too many things here. Just pick a few difficult things, or maybe just do it for 1 week. Say, this week, I'm going to focus on using Quizlet to learn my vocabulary. And this week, I'm going to reward myself with this thing if I do it, making it specific. Or you can make a point system. You might have more than one thing you want to do. You might want to give yourself points. This way you can make a value judgment about how important the activity is. So here are the difficult things. You might say, okay, if I talk for 15 minutes in English, I'll give myself 1 point. And then to get your reward, well, it's not a specific thing, but you can shop for rewards. Let's see, if I've earned enough points, let's say 1 week I earned 5 points. So I come over here and I do shopping. What can I do with 5 points? Well, I can get some ice cream and still have 2 points left over. So I can do ice cream and Mountain Dew. I can play my video game for 20 minutes. That's 4 points. Oh, I don't have enough points to go to the cinema, so nothing like that. So make a point system. You might want to write out a point system like this, put the things you want to do on one side, and then the points you earn from that. And then each day, you write down how many points you've earned and you have totals. That's a good way to keep track of points. This was one of my lists from when I was learning Arabic. You can play with the different points, but once you set a system on paper, stick to it for a while. Don't change it right away. Another way to do point system is, I'm going to change cameras here and show you another way to do a point system. Okay, so this is, if you can see down in the camera here, this is another way to do a point system. You can keep points with money. So this is American money. This is 1 penny. This stands for 1 point. And after I do something on my list, instead of writing it down, I'm going to put it in my reward jar. Okay, so that's 1 point. I can keep putting in 1 point at a time, or if I earn 5 points, this is a 5-cent coin, I can do that. And day by day, I earn more. Here's 1. Day by day, I earn 1. On the weekend, I did a lot. That's 10. This is 10 points for me. Then at the end of the week, I think I need to reward myself. Let's see what I have. So you come to your reward jar, point it out, you see how many points you have, and then you reward yourself. And then, of course, it goes back to the other one, and I have no rewards left. Okay, so that's a simple way to keep track of rewards as well. But the important thing about a reward system is it's specific. But here's some other key points. 1, challenge yourself. Make the reward hard to get. Don't just say, okay, I learned 2 words, 10 points. Okay, that's not really very challenging. Another key point is never ever cheat. And by cheating, I mean this. Once you set something up as a reward, let's say ice cream. For example, I'm going to give myself ice cream if I learn my 20 words on my vocabulary list, if I memorize them. Let's say I'm going to give myself ice cream. What that means is the rest of your time, no ice cream ever. In other words, the only way you can get ice cream, your favorite thing, or if it's coffee, the only way you can get your coffee is if you do your difficult thing, if you do your hard thing, then you can earn it. That's what I mean by never ever cheat. You take that reward and you take it off the table from your everyday life and you reserve it for something special. For me, when I was exercising more, I was trying to lose some weight and exercise. My reward became, when I exercise, when I take my walks and my jogs, I will listen to my audiobook. I found a book I really liked, a story I really liked, and I would listen to it. Sometimes at the end of the walk, I want to keep listening to that. I want to find out what happens, but no, the walk is over, the exercise is over, no more reward. I had to save it just for my exercise time. And I found it was very effective. So first point, challenge yourself, make it hard. Second point, never ever cheat with your rewards. And the third point is to organize your system. Write it out on paper. If you don't write it out, it won't seem real to you. It won't seem like you really have a strategy or a system. Organize it. And another key point is, after some time, make it fresh. Change your reward system. New goals, new rewards. Maybe change it each month, change your system each month. or after semester or whatever your time limit is. That keeps it fresh. So even with these tricks, it's just with these strategies and these tips and ways to strengthen your motivation, sometimes your motivation just fails. You just get tired or something like that. This is normal. Maybe you're worried, says, oh, what will happen if I don't do this or if I don't succeed? The worry can get in the way of your motivation, because joy feeds motivation, but worry kills it. So find your joy. You might be going through a time of depression where you just don't care about anything. That's okay. Just do a little bit and then get up the next morning, start again. You might forget why you're doing this. You might start thinking, am I going the right direction? Is this what I need to spend time on? Write down to your goals. See if to remind yourself of why you're doing this. It might just, motivation might just fail because you're confused. There are not many things that are more confusing to your mind than learning another language. And people talking, it just seems like noise. Just shut up, just shut up. I don't want to listen anymore. And you just get confused. Find ways to make it simple. Find things that are easy for you to do. Easy is a good way to learn. Difficult just builds frustration, and you're not making the learning connections you need to make. Make it easy. Another way motivation fails is sometimes you just don't have very much natural talent. You're just not very good at it. Maybe you're good at other things like mathematics, or you're good in your own language, but you just don't have a lot of talent. That's okay. Keep working, your talent improves. Everybody can learn another language. When my wife and I were learning Arabic, we were in the same class. She would learn the vocabulary like this. She'd look at a list, go over the words a few times. Next day, she still knew all the words. For me, I had to spend hours doing it. I'd learn the words, I'd forget them, I have to come back, learn them again, and so on. But actually now I know more Arabic than she does, even though she has more talent, at least at the beginning. It seems she had more talent. So don't let your feeling that you don't have enough talent stop you. Another reason motivation fails is you're just comparing your situation with other people's situation. You might think life is so easy for these other people. They don't have all these distractions. They don't have all these things. Life is going good for them, but life is difficult for me. This picture, I don't know if you figured out what's happened yet here, but all these girls are getting engaged. They're showing their engagement ring. Maybe they're classmates from university. They're also happy they're getting engaged, but one girl is not so happy, not engaged. Of course, your happiness should not depend on getting engaged or getting married, right? Another reason motivation fails is just you have too much to do. You have other important things in your life and you're just feeling overwhelmed. It's important to carve out a little bit of time. If your life is too busy, especially, carve out a little bit of time each day that's your focus time on learning English. It's not how long you spend doing these things. It's how much attention you can give to it while you're doing it. So a short, intense time of study can be better than a long, relaxed time of study. A short time of walking around and being active and really focusing on learning a passage of reading or vocabulary can be more effective than spending your day kind of listening to music, kind of reading through your book. Okay, so short, focused, make the most of your time. So I hope this talk has started you thinking about some things, about your own motivation, making a program for yourself, making strategies for yourself, finding a team of people or partners that can help you with this. These are just some questions to think about when it comes to motivation. What do you love to do? Is it hard to find motivation to do it? So you might think, oh, actually, I love to play a certain video game. And I don't have to find motivation to play it. I have to find motivation to do other things. Well, that's because you love the video game. It's fun for you. So find the fun. Find the fun in English. And you won't have to worry about motivation too much, at least for a time. So did you get an idea today that might help you? Write it down. Think about how you're going to do it. Maybe watch this video again to look at those ideas. What are some things that take away your motivation in your situation, like the pictures we just looked at? Find a way to deal with those things. Don't try to do too much. Do what you can handle so that you're still thriving and still, by thriving, I mean living your best life, living a healthy, full life. And then think about your reward system. What can you do in your life to reward you for yourself for doing well? All right, I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you for watching.